books that I read in January, oh my goodness, were just amazing. First book was Deep Work by Cal Newport. Second book was Critical But Stable by Angela Makholwa. And the third book was A Promised Land by Barack Obama. Oh my goodness. All these books were amazing in so many different ways. And I just can't wait to get into them. So let's get started. Woo! Guys, we're reading my favorite book though now. Can I just say that A Promised Land has got to be my favorite book of the year so far? In fact, probably the past 2 years. I don't know. What book is better than The Promised Land? I'm pretty sure they're there. I mean, besides the Bible, right? But like, I can't think of one. As a biography, that is, right? In its own genre, I think it was such a beautiful book. Anyway, let's get into it. So A Promised Land essentially focuses on Barack Obama's life. Now, it is an incredibly detailed book. Listen, this thing is huge, right? About 700 pages. And for all its 700 pages, it's only covering his first term in office. So you're looking at him, his birth, and his, of course, teenage years onto his early political career, journey into the White House, and his time in the White House in the first term. But it is an incredibly detailed book. I really enjoyed it. It's such a well-told story. I think that's probably how I could put it. Similar to Michelle's book, I loved both books. Actually, I think I would put both of them in the same level, but in different ways, actually. Like Michelle's book was just so powerful and so emotive and just like, wow. And then this book was also powerful, also emotive. Listen, I don't think you should even compare the books, but they're just amazing, both of them, right? And what I did actually, because it's such a big book and I was struggling to find time to read the print book, I ended up buying the audio. And it happened to be Barack Obama actually reading the Audible version. And it was so amazing to just hear him tell his story and just the emotion behind that. And of course, he's just a great narrator. So, like, who wouldn't want to listen to Barack just telling stories? I mean, yeah. But I think what I also liked was that it was more than just, a political book, even though it was a political book. It was a biography, of course, telling his story. But it also opened my eyes to so much more. Like, I learned a lot about American policy. I learned a lot about foreign policy. I learned a lot about diplomacy. And personally, I love diplomacy. Of course, I'm more focused on like water diplomacy in my work and, environmental diplomacy. That's more my interest. But I was just like, listen, this is how it works when foreign leaders meet. This is what they say. This is how they handle stuff. I'm like, I'm here for it. But can you tell I loved the book? Can you tell I was really excited about the book? Because I was going on a hike with my sisters and I couldn't stop referencing the book. I just kept saying, oh, Barack says this in his book. Oh, Barack says this in his book. And I promise you, I don't always do that. But I think because I was just filled with that excitement of having finished the book and having thoroughly enjoyed it, I think it's definitely one to read. Look, there's so many lessons, in the book. I think I read somewhere about how a great story is one that shows a character who faces challenges and overcomes them, be it internal or external challenges, and comes out on top. And I think that is essentially Barack's story, except because it's life, right? It's not like he comes out on top necessarily, but he keeps overcoming challenge after challenge. And you'd think it was a challenge enough to get to the White House, but even being in the White House was a whole set of challenges in itself. And just seeing how he navigated it all. And what I saw as the beauty of the book is that it wasn't a one-man story, or it's not a one-man show. As much as he's on the cover, the book details the number of people that were involved in his journey, people that worked with him before the White House was even a conceivable dream, people who were with him as he was working his way to the Senate, as he was in the White House, and the many decisions that he took that weren't just him thinking about things and then just like, listen, this is what we're going to do, but realizing that the presidency is a conglomerate of people, capable people. And also that, look, you can try and do right by people as much as you can, but you're not going to please everyone. And I think that was one of the lessons I picked up. I think you have to read it yourself, but I believe that it's the kind of book that 10 people could read and pick out 10 different lessons or 10 different sets of lessons from his story. It's an interesting book. I also liked, just for me though, like these short history lessons that he would give. So if he's talking about a foreign leader or a country that he's going to, he would give just a bit of context. And I really like the context. And I think that's probably what contributed to the book being so long. I don't mind. But he would just give you a lot of context about certain leaders or certain movements. And it just gave you an appreciation for the tale itself, that he is also part of a bigger story. He's part of a world that has its own history. Yeah, so look, I think the books that I am just telling you about this in this video, they're all very interesting, beautiful in their own way, and they, yeah, they just exhibit people who have found something that works and have displayed it in such a great way. Um, or rather, I think I'm probably trying to say people who have found something they're good at and have displayed it in such a great way. And that thing that they're good at is writing, and writing in a beautiful way. So like the Deep Work book is it's a very interesting self-help book. And I struggle to finish self-help books because sometimes I tend to be an overthinker. So I will pick up something and then I'll chew through it in my mind, or I'll wanna implement it immediately, and that has its own set of challenges. And then I just have this stop-start kind of relationship with self-help books. But this book I was able to read from start to finish because each chapter just followed the other, and it was just a beautifully written book. Angela's book also, look, I love novels where I cannot predict the ending. And I think the book left us on such a cliffhanger that I'm still thinking, if you're gonna write a second book, like a sequel to that, I don't even know like where you would start, because I'm left thinking, you like, yeah, the characters were left in such a state. I don't even know if that was real life, how you would move on from then. But definitely pick it up and see how you find it. Please, if you've read any of these books, be sure to comment in the comment section how you found them, what you didn't like, what you liked, what I may have missed. Yeah, and I think for me, the downside to Barack's book was that it was long, but actually that was an upside for me, because at the time I had a super long commute to work. I was driving like 2 to 4 hours, no, rather 2 hours going and 2 hours back. If I take a shortcut, it's about a 3-hour return trip. And so 29 hours of Barack Obama telling me his story was amazing. So I enjoyed it, but I know for some people it might be quite the stretch. I read it in January through February. I think I started at mid-Jan. So the print book itself might probably be a lot harder to get through, because when you're driving and the audiobook is, just playing, it's a lot easier. But definitely, I would recommend either the print or the audio. The nice thing about the print, though, is that it also has pictures of some of the events that he speaks about. See there, some of the pictures that he talks about. So it's just nice to see some of those landmark events in his life. That's really the plus side of the audio. I need to give this one away. Sorry, the plus side of the print. Anyway, that is a mouthful, guys. I just wanted to share these books with you, because I think that of the three, I'm sure there's one that you can pick up, and I'm sure that it will be entertaining or educating in one way or another. And that is it for me for now. I will be back very soon. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and share the video, and I will be back soon. Thank you. Bye.